This is Valley View News.
Telling us about how to keep our ocean clean.
People in Los Angeles celebrate Earth Day while reminding others to keep an eye on their carbon footprint. And some young women are going toe-to-toe with men in the boxing ring.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Allison Fishbane.
And I'm David M. Johnson. A recent study found nearly half of U.S. meat and poultry is contaminated with bacteria that can cause staph infections. Valley View News reporter Mandy Gosling is live in the newsroom with more.
Not only did researchers find that 47% of the meat and poultry in U.S. grocery stores has the bacteria Staphylococcus aureus, but more than half of the bacteria were resistant to antibiotics. They said the use of antibiotics to keep animals from getting sick is the likely cause, leaving many consumers wanting other options. Unlike the meat and poultry sampled in the study, this meat has never been treated with antibiotics. Butcher Erica Nakamura can promise that because she's even been to the farm it came from. Nakamura and her partner Amelia Posada are the owners of a sustainable butcher shop in West Hollywood called Lindy and Grundy. Both former vegetarians, they specialize in meat that is pastured, organic, and raised on local farms. Their doors have only been open for a few weeks and business is booming.
In the first 6 days that we were open for business, we went out of 3 entire steer, 8 lamb, and 10 pigs.
In 2009, the Organic Trade Association said organic meat sales represented only 3% of all organic sold in the U.S., but they have been on a steady rise for nearly the last 10 years. Meat shoppers Ray and Lisa Friedman say finding meat from local farms can be a challenge.
We've always gone to the farmers markets, but that's limited access, really Sunday morning.
They said the 15 to 20% more they pay for local and pastured meat is worth it for their health and the flavor.
And once you buy this type of product, you can't go back. It's like it just tastes that much better.
While this meat has not been treated with antibiotics, experts say that is not the case for much of the meat carried in grocery stores across the United States. Researchers tested beef and poultry samples from 26 grocery stores in 5 U.S. cities, including Los Angeles. But the study's authors say the grocery stores or food handlers are not to blame. DNA tests suggest the problem lies with the widespread use of antibiotics in industrial farming. The Centers for Disease Control says no one knows why, but they increase animal growth. So although antibiotics might be a boon for the meat business, medical experts say they could be presenting serious problems to our health. The study's senior author, Lance B. Price, said, "Antibiotics are the most important drugs that we have to treat staph infections. But when staph are resistant to 3, 4, 5, or even 9 different antibiotics, like we saw in this study, that leaves physicians few options."
So that's the threat. We're running out of antibiotics.
Dr. John Schillinger is an expert in foodborne diseases at Cal State Northridge.
Many years ago, Great Britain, in fact over 20 years ago, banned the feeding of antibiotics because of this drug-resistant problem developing. We have not. The food industry, I should say the meat-producing industry, feels there's too much profit to be made in feeding these low levels of antibiotics to keep the cows basically healthy under some rather stressful conditions.
The early success of Lindy and Grundy's butcher shop may indicate the meat industry can turn a profit using more sustainable practices. Experts say they are still determining the consequences of antibiotic use in animals on public health. Meat industry advocates have rejected the study, saying the sample size was not sufficient. They also said the bacteria is not heat resistant and will be destroyed through proper cooking procedures. Back to you in the studio.
The American Academy of Pediatrics wants to tighten hazardous substance laws on products for children and pregnant women. Pediatricians say that small children and pregnant women are absorbing harmful chemicals in rubber toys, plastic bottles, and treated carpets. The group says companies that use these harmful chemicals largely regulate themselves without federal oversight. The group says that they want to add more government testing on products made for pregnant women and small children. As many as 500 inmates have escaped from a prison in southern Afghanistan. All are believed to be Taliban members. The prisoners escaped from a jail in the southern province of Kandahar through a nearly 1,100-foot-long tunnel. The Taliban has taken responsibility, saying their members spent 5 months digging the tunnel. This is the second escape from the prison that houses some of the most dangerous Taliban members.
Police in China blocked more than 500 worshipers from attending Sunday service. Worshipers were blocked from entering one of China's largest unofficial churches after hundreds of officers swarmed the scene. The Shouwang Church is considered one of many illegal Christian gathering places in Beijing. The officers detained more than 36 people from attending the planned religious mass. Leaders of the church are under house arrest. Church representatives have vowed to defy the communist government's rule of no outdoor public services. Recent data states there are 20 million Christians worshiping at official churches, but the number of unofficial worshipers are more than 10 times that high. Earth Day reminds people of how they can reduce their carbon footprints. Valley View's Courtney Price has more on different ways people are celebrating the event.
A big carbon footprint means you pollute too much, and a small one means you're eco-friendly. That was the message at the 6th annual EarthFest LA event to celebrate Earth Day. These people got into the vibe of Earth Day by playing eco-friendly drums, but EarthFest LA offered many other free activities that were centered around the environment.
We had some tea and we played some games. We got a hula hoop and we played in a drum circle. A lot of stuff, a lot of like a bike awareness place.
There's lots of places, tents where they're telling us about how to keep our ocean clean, save the sharks, things like that.
Attendees were able to look at wildlife up close and play with fun instruments. Orlando Epting says that scouting is a way for kids to become educated about the environment.
Scouting is all about rebuilding the community, or rebuilding things, or making things better, helping somebody.
People hula hoop for healthy soy joy bars and merchandise. Chef Carla gave cooking tips on what eco-friendly utensils to use.
It's all about the bamboo. This is so eco-friendly.
Attendees were able to get environmental information from the array of tents at EarthFest. Researchers from the USC Medical Center were there to draw blood to study mental health disorders.
We're recruiting control subjects for our research study involving the genetic disorders of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. It's going to help us to look at the genes that are responsible for these disorders so that we can create better treatments.
Ali Solomon, the owner of the rent-a-car system Simply Hybrid, says business is booming.
We are the first totally hybrid green rental company, pure hybrid rental in Los Angeles. We rent hybrid, alternative fuel, and environmentally friendly vehicles only.
Along with many activities and music in celebration of Earth Day, people were able to walk around and admire the scenery here at Kennethon Park. Although the turnout was a bit disappointing, organizers say they'll be back next year to drum up more support for Earth Day. The organizers of the event say every day can be Earth Day if people do their part to help the environment. Back to you.
Physical therapy is widely used in the world of medicine to help people recover from trauma and surgery. Valley View's Ali Carnett found one rehabilitation center that uses these same methods on our four-legged friends.
Nina loves to swim and play fetch. But not only is this border collie having fun, but she is also combating her arthritis. Swim therapy is only one of the services offered at the Los Angeles Canine Wellness Center, 2 Hands, 4 Paws. This rehabilitation clinic uses alternative treatments and physical therapy to help dogs bounce back from injury, surgery, and simply the effects of aging. Other methods include navigating through obstacle courses to enhance coordination and standing on a physio ball to increase the dog's core strength and balance. Underwater treadmills are used to encourage muscle development without causing stress on the animal's joints and soft tissue. Founder and president of 2 Hands 4 Paws, Leslie Gallagher McMahon, says that the methods used at her clinic are similar to those that are used on people.
If you broke your leg and had surgery to pin and plate it back together, the minute you get that cast off, your doctor is sending you to physical therapy and putting you in a pool and you're starting to do strengthening exercises. It's the exact same thing with animals.
2 Hands 4 Paws also has wheelchairs for when their patients' injuries have left them paralyzed. McMahon rescued 1-year-old poodle Scooter from Mexico after hearing that the young dog had been hit by a car and shot in the back. Scooter's injuries left him paralyzed, but after being fit to a wheelchair, he now gets around just fine and is looking for a new home. With new developments in alternative treatment, the client base has been rapidly expanding.
2 Hands 4 Paws began in the backyard of the owner, but soon, with the growing need for canine physical therapy, they had to move to a new facility in Los Angeles, California that is 6,000 square feet.
The rehabilitation center also performs acupuncture, laser treatment, and massage therapy.
I want this to be more spa-like, more zen, lots of plants. I want it to be soothing and peaceful and really fun for a dog.
The need for canine physical rehabilitation continues to grow, and McMahon says she hopes to educate veterinarians and hopes to open more clinics throughout Southern California. In Los Angeles, I'm Ali Carnett, reporting for Valley View News.
Coming up, Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords will make a rare appearance to watch her husband roar into space. And we'll see a gym where young women are punching their way into the boxing ring.